Hey guys, welcome to another movie review. Today I'm going to be talking about the film Venom. This is a side story movie for the Marvel Universe, for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and for Sony's Marvel Universe thing. So basically, this is a side story movie. It's kind of like what DC's doing with Joker next year, with basically telling a story about a villain that happens within a certain comic book universe. It's going to be its own thing. Yes, characters like Batman and all of them probably exist somewhere, someplace, but it's mostly focused on a central villain. Just like how this film, Venom, the title character, is basically the central focus, central character. Spider-Man's off in that universe somewhere, but for the most part, it's mostly a film about Venom. So in this movie, you guys, we follow Eddie Brock, who was actually a reporter in San Francisco while in the comics. Basically, him and Peter Parker coincide within New York City. Peter Parker being busy being Spider-Man and a photographer for Daily Bugle, while in the comics, Eddie Brock is also kind of a competitive photographer slash reporter for the Daily Bugle in New York. But in this movie, Eddie Brock is a reporter in San Francisco to kind of mix things up for a little bit. So he's a reporter in San Francisco, and he has this big story that he really wants to do. He kind of has this Brock report thing. I think it's called the Brock Report or something like that. So basically, any type of big news that happens in San Francisco, he tries to report on, tries to televise it, turns it into his boss, and they try to put it on TV or the internet if they can. But he has this big story he wants to do involving a laboratory that has this really cruel, mean way of getting results, and they have this big breakthrough with these symbiotes that were found out in this country somewhere. And so that's kind of the big deal, is they have a hold of these symbiote creature things. They don't really know what they do. They're still kind of studying them to see exactly what they are and what they do. And they have all these volunteers, like in all their experiments. And basically they're going through cruel, mean ways to kind of figure out what these symbiotes do and everything. So Eddie Brock is trying to kind of expose this story. He heard about this source from a source and things like that. And so basically he gets an opportunity to go inside this laboratory. But while there, without spoiling too much, basically he gets exposed to something that he shouldn't have been exposed to. And he starts to have weird voices in his head. He has these strange abilities that he never knew he had. He has these black slime things that kind of get all over his hands and everything, and he can shoot them out of his hands and legs and feet, and basically do unlimited things through this black symbiote creature who calls himself Venom. And throughout the course of this movie, Venom is trying to stop a symbiote brother that he has, that this laboratory has, who's kind of unofficial with a host, unlike Eddie Brock and Venom are. And basically they're trying to stop this character Riot's plan with this whole laboratory deal, while Eddie Brock has this whole Venom symbiote thing attached to him. So over the course of the movie Venom, Eddie Brock is kind of battling this inner demon, this inner alter ego of sorts, to basically take down this other alter ego of Venom that must be stopped, or else many bad things will happen. So overall, guys, I thought this film was alright. I was really looking forward to this film. I love the Venom character. I'm a big Spider-Man fan. I have been a big Spider-Man fan since I was a little boy. So hearing that Venom would get his own film, hopefully to fix the things that people didn't like about Venom in Spider-Man 3 back when Sam Raimi worked on that, I was hoping this film was going to do that. And unfortunately for me personally, I kind of like Spider-Man 3 a little better. Sorry if you guys don't agree with that, but I kind of like Spider-Man 3 better. Certainly Spider-Man 3 has its problems for sure, but I kind of like that better than what they did with this movie, even though I really liked Tom Hardy and I liked how he handled the Venom character. Spider-Man 3 was kind of a better movie. So anyway, going back to my thoughts of this movie, let's go into some positives and negative thoughts of Venom. I really did enjoy the whole Eddie to Venom chemistry. Whenever they're talking back and forth, whenever it's Eddie kind of convincing Venom to do something, or it's Venom, forcing Eddie into something, I thought all that was very good. So the chemistry between Eddie and this Venom voice slash Venom symbiote, I thought was very good. I thought they had good chemistry in this movie. The action scenes are also very good. There's a scene involving Eddie Brock on a motorcycle getting away from something, and the Venom symbiote basically helps him do these crazy things on this motorcycle to get out of this situation, and it's a great scene. It's a great action scene. There's even a scene, too, that's shown in the trailer, so it's really not much of a spoiler, of basically Eddie Brock getting out of this hold-up thing that basically the SWAT team will take him out if he takes action. I thought that action scene was very good. It's actually a clip online, I think, on YouTube somewhere for those who want to see that before even seeing this movie, if you'd like. So pretty much overall, great action scenes in this movie, too. The look and movements of Venom I thought were very convincing and very good. I thought the CGI work on Venom was really good. The way his eyes move, the way his teeth move, the way he has a desire to always eat things and bite things and stuff like that. So the look of Venom and the movements of Venom I thought were very well handled in this movie. Michelle Williams kind of plays the girlfriend slash ex-girlfriend slash friendly supporter person while Eddie Brock is going through the symbiote phase. And I really liked her character. I really cared about her support for Eddie. I kind of, even when they kind of weren't really a couple in several moments of the movie, I really hoped that she could help Eddie Brock in some way because he really didn't have a lot of people to turn to at this tough time in his life. So I thought her character was very supportive and I really rooted for her while she was on screen. So I really liked Michelle Williams' character in this movie. I also like Jenny Slate's character in this film. Her character is kind of this scientist who's kind of had enough of this company she works for. So as a result, she's trying to kind of help the people that are trying to hopefully potentially make the company better if that's possible, before probably getting terminated from this position. I'm sure she's well aware of that happening. But I really rooted for her character because you can tell that she really loves science. She really loves the ultimate goal of this company that she's a part of, but she doesn't like the way they do things, how they handle things, how they're researching things. So I kind of liked her mission as a character. I thought that was interesting. Riz Ahmed plays kind of the big villain of this film. He's kind of the guy in this corporation that's willing to do evil things to get the best results possible, even if that means doing really cruel, mean things to get there. I thought that really added to the whole villainous side of the movie. So I thought Riz Ahmed did a great job playing this sinister character in this movie. Overall, I thought Venom was introduced a little too late in this film. For being a movie called Venom, I thought sure, it's great that we get to know Eddie Brock a little bit and kind of his struggles before becoming Venom and everything like that, but I thought the overall Venom character was just introduced a little too late in this film. Really could have just been introduced sooner. I thought they could have quickened the pace of the whole Eddie Brock character building at the beginning of the movie. So for me personally, for a movie being called Venom, we really don't get to see Venom himself until pretty late into the film. At least in my opinion, it felt that way. I thought there was too many tone changes in this film. 1 minute it's a sci-fi film, 1 minute it's a horror film, then it's a comedy, then it's an action, then it's a drama. I feel like this film really could have just sat down with the writers and be like, what is Venom going to be? Because I really feel like there's just a little bit of every genre at once going on in this movie. And for me personally, I really would have preferred something more contracted down and more specific of what it wants to be. Because by trying to be everything, it becomes nothing as a result. I thought this film also really needed an R rating. There really was too many off-screen kills, too many censored moments, too many scenes where you feel like a character wants to swear or do something really bad or say something really bad, and I feel like the film just has this sense of always holding back from doing that. It always has this held back feeling. So I really thought an R rating really would have helped that, because with the success of Deadpool and Logan, you would think Marvel and Sony would really want to push this film to be an R-rated film to kind of really give Spider-Man that big push with an R-rated Venom movie and so forth. So it just felt a little censored to me, and I thought the R rating could have helped it from being so censored. I also thought it was a weird creative choice to make the film take place in San Francisco. I really don't get what this film would get out of that, besides really clarifying that this is not an MCU movie, I guess. That's the only thing I really could think of after giving myself a day or two to think about this movie, is really just being separate from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like really being as separate from that as you can. You put it in San Francisco. So for me personally, I thought, like, why not just make it take place in New York? Just make sure that it's not in the same like street or neighborhood as Spider-Man was in. I would have settled for that. Why it's in San Francisco, I thought was a little too out there for me. I also really couldn't clarify if this was a side story movie or a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. It feels like a Marvel Cinematic Universe at times because it's trying to build up things, it's trying to set up things that maybe we might see in a later Marvel movie potentially. While also there's things about it like being taken place in San Francisco and really not doing anything that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is doing right now. And I really feel like Sony and Marvel really should have sat down and be like, what is Venom going to be? Is it going to be a side story movie? Then we have to pursue it this way. If it's going to be a Marvel Cinematic Universe film, we have to pursue it that way. It just kind of felt like everything at once. And once again, by choosing to do everything, the film becomes nothing as a result. And basically nobody's happy as a result either. So overall, guys, I'm going to give Venom an 8 out of 10. There's things I really like about it, but there's things I really don't like about it. The Eddie to Venom chemistry was great. The action scenes are very good. The look and movements of Venom are all very good. And the CGI of Venom, of course, is really good. Michelle Williams' character is a lot of fun. Jenny Slate's character is very respectful and reasonable. And I thought the sinister ways of Riz Ahmed's character made him a great villain in the movie. But Venom is introduced a little too late in this movie for me. It really could have benefited from an R rating to make it feel not so censored. I really still don't kind of understand why it's in San Francisco. As far as I remember, the Venom comics and Spider-Man comics almost never took place there. I really thought Marvel and Sony could have really decided and really sat down and be like, is this a side story? Is this a Marvel Cinematic Universe film? I'm sure they really lean towards side story, but there's parts that kind of feel like a Marvel Cinematic Universe film still. And the too many changes in tone kind of made it difficult to decide what exactly this genre was trying to be and even what kind of audience this was kind of aiming for outside of Marvel fans. So 8 out of 10. I like things about this movie, but it's as a whole, it's not a great movie, really. So it's all right. Go in with caution. You could even wait till Redbox to see this movie, I would even say safely. So I liked the film. I just didn't love the film.